All right. We got the final part to Joe lists this year's material.
All right, man. Yeah, man. Joe List, man. Funny dude.
Yeah.
Funny dude, man. Drop some more specials. I'll watch them.
Yeah. Definitely. Definitely.
All right, man. So you ready to bring this one in?
Yes, I am.
All right, man. Let's go.
How about Forrest Gump? You see Forrest Gump? Where'd you go? You saw that one, right? I love that movie. Some people hate it. I love it. Best Picture, 94. Fantastic, if you ask me. I got beef, though. I rewatched it. Movies get different as you watch them, like, later in life. And I got beef with one of the characters. Mrs. Gump, specifically, played wonderfully by Sally Field, who's Tom Hanks' mother in that movie, and a love interest in a movie 4 years earlier. So, little movie magic. This is my issue. Remember the scene where Forrest Gump, he graduates from the University of Alabama. Somehow. We're not sure how exactly. It's a little iffy. Early on in the film, he's too dumb to get into kindergarten. Later, he graduates from the University of Alabama. He couldn't get into kindergarten. His mother had to bang the principal. That's how he got in. This was pre-Me Too movement. That was a fair exchange back in the day. He gets into the public school system, plays football, graduates University of Alabama. And then at graduation, remember this? He graduates, and a guy in an army uniform walks up, and he hands him a pamphlet. And he says, "Have you given any thought to your future?" And Forrest says, "Thought?" Because he doesn't know what thoughts are. He's confused. And then it just cuts to Forrest. He's on the bus. He's joined the army. And there's a drill instructor like, "Get your bitch ass on the army bus, you pussy," or whatever. And Forrest is like, "Oh my God, I think I made a big mistake." And this is where I have an issue with Mrs. Gump. I really feel like she should have stepped in and looked out for her son. If you didn't see the movie, he's in grave danger. He's going directly to Vietnam. It's 1968. And here's what I think. I think Mrs. Gump wanted to get rid of Forrest. That's the argument I'm presenting. I think she was like, "I'm tired of paying for leg braces and banging all these principals. That's a great idea. Go to Vietnam, see what you can do over there." Because he wasn't going to get drafted. He was safe. He was draft exempt for a few reasons. One, he was a college graduate. Two, he was his mother's only son. And three, he was retarded. So I feel like he was safe. Then he came home 2 years later. He's like, "I'm home, Mama." She's like, "You gotta be shitting me. Are you serious?" Oh, God damn it. Oh, I thought I took care of this. That's great. He's like, "How's Bubba?" "He died." "He died?" Oh. Sorry. I'm from the 90s. I apologize. You guys are so great. I feel like I can be, right? Yeah, thanks. Thank you. Let me see in my head here. I got that one. Oh, yeah. I got a bunch. Yeah, I remember now. It's down to cell phones and shits. You guys aren't looking at your phone. They take your phone here, though, right? They're all wrapped up. That makes it easier to not look at your phone. Now I'm triggering everybody in the room, though. You guys are all like, "Oh, shit, I wonder what's going on my phone." Very hard not to look at your phone. We're all addicted, right? It's hard. Some comedians get mad if they see someone in the audience look at their phone. They'll be like, "Hey, get off your phone, you son of a whatever." I just get jealous. I'm like, "Shit, I wish I was looking at my phone. That is better. That is better than all of my thoughts." I'm trying to not look at my phone anymore. I read a book called How to Break Up With Your Phone by my friend Catherine Price. Anybody read that book? Nobody read it. Great. I highly recommend it. It's great. I mean, I'm still addicted to my phone, but it was a fun read. One tip in there, it said, "Write down waste of time on a piece of paper. Take a photo of the piece of paper. Make that photo the background picture of your phone, so when you open your phone, it says waste of time." And that activity is a waste of time because it doesn't work at all. I opened my phone, I was like, "Oh, I remember doing that. That was crazy." And then I looked at my phone for about 3.5 hours. Never worked once, but I had a good time doing it. Another thing the book recommends is an app called the Moment app. And the Moment app tells you how many times you picked up your phone that day. It's a good app. Yeah, you have it. It's nice. It's supposed to help you quit. It doesn't help you quit, though. It just makes you want to kill yourself. That's all it really does. I'm like, wow, 178. I'm a piece of shit. I used to drink a lot. If I had an app that was like, "You drank 17 Captain Cokes today," I wouldn't quit. I'd be like, "You're goddamn right I did." And then I'd flip over a table and try to have sex with a really heavy woman. You know what I mean? It's not gonna help me. I came up with an idea for my own app. I take a little bit of that, but then there's repercussions. It tells you how many times you picked up your phone, but there's some repercussions. You pick up your phone 50 times in one day, we send a picture of your dick to your mother. That's like a... That would be a good app.
Oh my God.
You're like, holy shit, I'm at 48. I can't sexually harass my mother. Let me put this goddamn thing away until tomorrow. But then a half hour later, you're like, I got a pretty good tweak on. Let me just double check. She's seen it before. She'll be fine. She probably won't recognize it. It's been a few months. Years. Shit. Oh, God. I'm trying not to look at my phone, but it's hard. Because once again, comedy, very isolating. I'm traveling by myself all the time. At this point, in our society, if you're by yourself in public, you should be required to look at your phone. Because otherwise, you're just... You're making everyone uncomfortable. I was on the subway the other day. Every single person's looking at their phone, except one guy just looking out the window. I told a cop, I'm like, you might want to keep an eye on that son of a bitch over there. You seeing this? This guy's looking at trees and smiling. I was at a restaurant. I'm trying to look at my phone, so I was like, I'm not going to look at my phone. So I'm just sitting there like a lunatic. And then they sat two people like right next to me, two old ladies, and they start talking. And so naturally, I just start listening to their conversation, which is just social media, basically. It's just two strangers talking, and I'm like, interesting. That's not what I think. And then at one point, the lady was like, my son's having a baby, and then we just kind of caught each other's eye for a moment, and I gave her a literal thumbs up. I gave her the glasses emoji and a thumbs up, and I was like, we're living in a goddamn matrix, I think. Anyways, time for the shit jokes. Oh, thanks. My wife and I, we share a small apartment during the pandemic, and like, you know, you gotta go to the bathroom, right? Of course. But you don't want your like partner to hear you shitting. That's no good. Right? Yes. So I would always do this. Do you guys do this? Maybe you have like houses. We have a small apartment. I would say, I gotta use the bathroom. Don't listen. Do you guys ever do that? I say don't listen. And then I remember my wife doesn't listen when I'm talking, so I don't know why I'm worried about her listening to me shit. Like I tell my wife my best story. She's just scrolling Instagram. She's like, oh, that's great. I like the idea that I'm like, I'm gonna take a shit. She's like, let me put my phone down for this. I wanna get... Like I'm like, don't listen. Like she's like, please. You don't want your partner to hear you shitting, but some people I do want to hear shit. Like sometimes I don't have health insurance because I'm an American, right? And I have a bad diet. I'm always afraid I'm dying. So that's like my health insurance. I'll overhear somebody shitting and I think, oh, I'm fine. Have you guys ever had that? You're in like a public restroom, you just hear like, oh. And you're like, I'm good for a while. I don't make that noise when I'm shitting. I got a few years before I need to see a doctor. Sometimes I'll thank him. I'm like, hey, I appreciate that, sir. I hope you feel better. Thanks for your service. Every once in a while, you hear someone shit so badly that I'll wash my hands for like a half hour because I'm like, I need to get a look at this guy's face. I don't know. You guys not do that? It's like a game of chicken. He knows I'm out there, but I'm like, I don't have a job, sir. I'll sleep in here. I'm going to put a face to that noise. Then he comes out and I'm like, I knew you were going to look like that. Somehow I knew what you looked like. I could tell. The problem with public restrooms, the stall door never fits perfectly, right? When you go into a bathroom. Like here, these ones are good. But the stall door, it's never like flush. There's always like a seam there. It's like the work. And sometimes it's like way too wide. Like you ever sit down, you're like, why can I see both that guy's shoulders right now? Usually it's like a sliver, like a shirt color. And then you sit down, you're like, I can see an entire human. Hi. I had one recently. I don't know how wide it was exactly, but I know this. It was wider than a child's eyeball. And the reason I know that is because I was in the bathroom and a kid walked right up to me and just looked right through. There was space on either side.
We just heard that.
Have you guys ever made direct eye contact with a strange child while you were shitting? Probably not, right? I just kept staring because I don't want to let him alpha male me. I just kept... Eventually, he broke the silence. He went, Dad! It's like, does he think I'm his dad? Or does he want his dad to see how I shit? Like, is he like, Dad? It's good to be back. This is fun. I miss traveling around doing comedy. My last gig before the shutdown, I was in Plano, Texas. That was like my last gig. And I went to the airport. I got a ride to the airport in a cab. And the cab driver was making small talk with me. Now, I hate making small talk with a cab driver because I feel like I have to agree with whatever he says. I feel that way anyway, but especially in a cab because they have your life in their hands. Like, I'm always afraid of being like, that doesn't really make sense. And he'll be like, well, maybe this will make sense, you fucking piece of shit. You know what I mean? You guys think that? So I disagree with whatever he said. We pulled into the airport, huge airport, Dallas-Fort Worth Airport, second biggest airport in America. We pulled in, and I said, this airport is huge. I'm very good at small talk. That's one of my skills. And then he said, oh yeah, this airport right here, bigger than the state of Maine. He tossed that out there. Now, many of you are laughing. Some of you are not laughing. Let me just help you out with this joke. He is incorrect. The state of Maine is bigger than the Dallas-Fort Worth Airport. In fact, all the states are bigger than all the airports. That's how states and airports work. The states are bigger. But I went with it. I was like, wow, man, that's crazy. I wanted to be like, that's literally crazy. You seem like an unstable human being for thinking that that could possibly be true. I even looked around. I was like, oh, yeah, it's bigger than Maine over there. That was embarrassing. That's not the most embarrassing thing. I don't even like to admit this, but I got out of the cab and I Googled it. I was like, let me just do a double check real quick. You ever do that when you're talking to someone, you're like, this guy's a fucking idiot, and then you're like, I'm pretty stupid also, though, so let me just make sure. So I Googled it, and I was correct. Maine is bigger than the Dallas-Fort Worth Airport. And I'll tell you what, guys, it is bigger by quite a bit, actually. I'll give you the numbers real quick, because I don't want to make it seem like I'm just picking on this guy. Here are the stats. Dallas-Fort Worth Airport, huge airport, 27 square miles. Very big. That's very big for an airport. State of Maine, 14,583 square miles. This guy wasn't even close. He was off by the entire state of Maine, basically. He missed it by Maine. I knew he was wrong, because you can't have an airport the size of Maine. That would be too big for an airport. You get dropped off at your terminal, you're like, excuse me, I got dropped at the wrong terminal. How do I get to Terminal B? Oh, it's a 9-hour shuttle. You're gonna have to take a bus. 9 hours. You might miss your flight. Fortunately, we do have a flight that goes from Terminal A to Terminal B. That's a 30-minute flight, if you want to grab that. You have time. It's delayed. It ran out of fuel because it was taxiing on the runway, and the runway is 475 miles long here. If you're unhappy about it, you can write to one of the 2 senators of the airport. We have 2 senators and 1 governor here at the Dallas-Fort Worth Airport. You guys are fantastic. Thank you guys so much. I gotta go. Thanks very much. I appreciate
it. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. The list is what he called it, right? Or what was the name of it?
This year's material.
This year's material. Okay. Yeah. I think he had a pretty decent year. You know?
Yeah, he had a couple weird things happen to him, but you know.
Right.
I guess that's his material. The material that happened to him.
Yeah, man. Definitely not. Yeah, his comedy, it's definitely it's a little different than I guess our normal what we listen, what we kind of watch. Like I said,
yeah,
with him it's kind of like a lot of like perspectives, you know what I mean, like inner thought, like you know what I mean, like your conscience speaking, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean it's the same. He has the same. We just heard somebody else talk about the crack in the door in the restroom. The door joke. Right. So singing, right? Same thing happened to somebody else this year.
Right. Yeah, man, need to fix those bathroom doors, man. Seriously.
Yeah. He said he stayed in there washing his hands 30 minutes to see who it was shitting in there. I've actually done that before, at work.
That's
I
funny.
needed to see who shit at work before.
Right.
Cause somebody was shitting in the restroom at work. You know what I'm saying? It was like a shit bandit. And he was like, who the fuck keeps shitting in here? And it smells horrible, like through the hallways. You know what I'm saying? But we never get to figure it out. So I was like, you know what? Somebody's in there shitting. I'm gonna stay in here to figure it out. Couldn't tell by the shoes.
Man.
But they stayed there too long.
Right.
Had to leave.
And what'd you do when they caught him? Would you like?
Never caught him. Had to leave. Had to
okay.
leave. Stayed there too long. I didn't wait 30 fucking minutes. I gotta go back to work.
I was about to say, you stayed in there to catch him. I was like, damn, okay. Yeah. But yeah, man, it's
yeah. Private, private restrooms are probably the best way to go, just so you know you can have your own privacy.
Definitely.
You know,
if you have that.
They have that luxury.
That luxury, yeah, definitely.
You know, most are public. You got to share a big ass restroom with a whole bunch of people, but yeah.
Yeah, man, definitely put those doors close together. I wonder why. I mean, maybe it's because the joints, you know what I mean? So the doors can swing open and close. You
probably.
know what I mean? I don't, but
probably. That's probably, yeah, that is. But I mean, shit, they can make doors. It's like they do that shit on purpose. Because you can easily make them. You should be like, you know, the measurements. If we just, you know, a half an inch here, we can make it completely enclosed. Nah, let's leave it at, let's keep that gap right there.
Yeah, you could. That'd be cool, man. Imagine if like they had something like with the walls on it, right? And then like as soon as you opened it, like as soon as you went in it, like something brought like something down over
a door or something.
Yeah, like
sliding door or something.
Over and down, yeah.
Yeah.
You know.
Just keep that enclosed, just so you know you don't have no little kids. Dad.
Some dude looking at me.
Yeah, like what the fuck is going on?
Yeah, wow.
Yeah. Joe List.
Funny stuff, man. Waiting for your next special.